Well, I don't know if it's a little bit of Valley strategy or what. The Valley Wild coming in, picking the 8:30 game here on this Saturday against the Cape Breton Blizzard, who played the two late games yesterday. Didn't get into town and play the game until about noon yesterday, and then played the late game against the Inferno last night. Unfortunately, coming up short in that second game. Both teams with 2 points coming into Saturday. A 1-1 record for both of these squads. We'll get your starting goaltenders in just a moment as well. Both teams will get set for opening puck drop here from Kentville. It's day 2 with the Nova Scotia U15 AAA Hockey League Provincials. And we're just about set for opening puck drop. Zoe Mitten in one net for the Cape Breton Blizzard rather, and Fable Roberts will face her 200 feet on the other end. Well, I'm not sure if it's 200 feet because it's a small barn here in Kentville, but it's definitely gonna get loud and packed here today. We had a great day yesterday of championship hockey, the best U15 AAA hockey in the province. The Wild will reset out at center. Smith will play this far side for Reed. Now Wallace back to Reed. Tried to shoot that one, fanned on it. But Wallace will pick it back up in the slot. Ford. She played a great game last night against the Inferno. And that one sent towards the front of the goal, covered up by Zoe Mitten. We'll get their first whistle of the game. First one at 8:30 this morning. Last one will go at 6 o'clock tonight. The Inferno and Metro West, the two Metro teams going at it in the last game of Saturday. Every game today will be a big one. There's the Inferno with the 1-point lead on the rest of the squads. And then Fundy Highland down there with a lone 1 point with their tie against the Inferno yesterday. If it wasn't for that tie, the Inferno would be sitting well ahead of the pack with 4 points. Out to center. Frazier is going to send it around the wall. Conrad lets it go. Back up top to the point. Morrison will send one into traffic. That one couldn't make its way to the goal. And picked up behind the net by the Wild. Moved to the slot for Corkum. She tried to break out to the far side, but that one couldn't find a stick of a blue jersey. Now the Blizzard trying to break out. Campbell sent it up the wall. Purdy sent it back into traffic for the Wild. Sorbetti pinned to the wall by Mullins. Purdy's going to dig that free. Now back in for Lila Purdy. She goes D to D, back for Muse. Now Purdy back behind the net. She's going to try and break out here on the short side. This one will get out of the zone, but McKenna's able to put it right back in for the Blizzard. Sophie Muse threw it up the wall. That one stays onside. No, once again, back for Purdy. Fourth or fifth time trying to break out this shift. Ford send it down low. It's sent to the slot. Roberts looks to have it, but that one's poked free. McInnes off the pads, and the second shot goes off the post. And now a chance for Smith to stretch that one down the ice, but it also was unable to find a Valley Wild stick, so it's sent down the ice by the Blizzards, but no touch, so an icing call. 11:13 left to go here in the first. We'll head back down to the glove side of Zoe Minton. Blizzard try to break into the offensive zone. That was Scott. She had 3 goals yesterday. Now back down on the half wall. The Wild trying to set up. Wallace got it in the slot. Played it back up top. Now Stark holds the line a couple of times. The third chance gets out. Now this one gets played off the wall, sent down into the Valley zone. And out on the far side, Morrison unable to hold the line. Now Mikael Foster trying to rip one on net. That one just goes over the goal. Chloe Conrad walks the line, passes off to her sister Grace. And now our chance on the wraparound, but that one's turned aside by Minton. Got to it on the far point, or the far post rather. This one sent down the ice. Now a breakout pass on the far side, looking for Corkum. Picked off by Ford, and she'll start into the offensive zone on the far side, picked up by McCauley. Now Ford plays it back right onto the stick of Sorbetti, who tried to break out, but that one held at the line. Now Conrad. Off his skate. That one's going to go down the ice, right off the skate of Raya Smith. And that'll be an icing call and charge to the Wild. 8:42 left to go here in the first. Up next at 10:30, we have the Metro West Force and the Fundy Highland Stars in both of their third games of the tournament. Fundy Highland looking for their first win. And Metro looking to go 2-1. This one sent down the ice. Going to be an icing call and charge to Valley if it gets there. But they call that, or wave that off rather. And back on the far side, Hughes played it back behind the net. Ford will gather up here for Kate Breton and send it out to center. Now Foster into the slot, tried to play it across for Curry, but couldn't find her stick. Picked back up by Wallace, tried to slot it in front, but couldn't beat the 5-hole there of Minton. Back into the slot. Reed had a bounce off of her stick, but it's picked back up on the half wall by Foster. Now a chance for the Blizzard. McCauley working the other way. Or Mills, excuse me. The 9 looked like an 8. So back goes Scott for this one. Now O'Keefe up the wall. But it's poked right back by Peyton Reed into traffic. They'll gather it back up here, will the Blizzard. And it's O'Keefe sending it into the offensive zone, but gathered quickly right inside the blue line by Olivia Smith. On the far side, Allison Stark muscles her attacker off the puck. And now Corkum walks in just offside. So face-off will come right outside the Blizzard zone. Oh, and I look to my right, I see those canteen doors open a little bit earlier than they were yesterday, so that's a good sign here, folks. Blizzard trying to walk into the offensive zone and set something up. Fogarty had it bounce off her stick. Chance to break out here for the Wild, but that's giving her away right onto the tape of Macaulay. And the line held on the far side by McInnes 2 or 3 times. And now it's back up the wall. This one's dumped in by Frazier. Slapped by Birdie, or by Smith rather, up that far side. And with 5:18 to go here in the first, so we'll get another whistle. That one's going to come back into the Wild zone. Face off, won by the Blizzard, back to forward, and she'll play it down low. And Mullins. First to it on the far side, Blazer back for forward. They'll try and go right up through the middle. And now the Blizzard away with numbers, but they walk over the line and turn it right over. Back forward is Mills. Back for Scott. That one almost turned aside. A great chance for Wallace to break in. Looking for an option behind the net is Grace Conrad. That one turned over on the far side. Mullins battling down there with Conrad. Conrad able to play it up the wall. And now Wallace will break out here for Valley. She's taken down. The penalty coming here to the Blizzard. And the Wild will head off to the power play. Corkum, Lowe, Wallace, Foster, and Grace Conrad will be the power play unit out here for Valley. Wallace will pick this one up down low. She's in a puck battle with a couple of players, Ford and Corkum. Now it's worked free by the Blizzard. Wallace, like a hound on that puck, able to keep it in, as well as Foster. Conrad gonna walk the line, but that one poked free. Broke free, the scrum on the wall and tried to play it up to Corkum. Now Foster into the slot. That one rolled off the stick of Corkum as well. Low giving pressure and gets back to Conroy at the point. And now Scott able to clear that one down the ice. Backboard is Conrad. She's got to be quick. Mills is all over her. Now Grace Conrad stops, tried to play one up the wall, but Mullins in alone, and she scores. A giveaway in the slot by Grace Conrad. Right onto the stick of Annie Mullins, and she's able to capitalize shorthanded. Still 40 seconds left on the power play for Valley, and they'll look to even things up quickly after a tough break. Chloe Conrad. Back around the wall. This one's played up through center and right back from where it started. Mills right on it. She picked up an assist on that goal from Mullins as well as Mavella Scott. Chloe Conrad trying to set something up here on the power play, but they've got to enter the zone first. Finney tried to play back to Sinclair at the point, but she was held up there by McLean. The shot goes well wide. Smith able to play it up the wall. Nice spin around a pass up to Peyton Reed. Or Mikkel Foster, rather. And now down the wing, right into the slot for Foster, but couldn't make a move there on the far side. And it's moved ahead quickly by Sinclair into the offensive zone. That'll kill the penalty, and they're back to even strength. Chipped up the wall. Smith unable to break it out. She'll try once again. And now Wallace looking far side here for Reed, but that one's taken away. There's Scott. She's got the hot stick for the Blizzard. She's got 3 yesterday. Looking for 3 more today, maybe. Walker across for O'Keefe. Tried to one-time that one, but she fanned on it. McCauley. Pin to the wall, and Wallace will pick it up, and she'll reverse for Smith. Down to the final 60. And now Corkum on the far side looks to chip that one into the offensive zone. It gets into the bench. So face-off will come here. 50 seconds left to go in the first. Now Purdy back for the Wild, trying to get one more rush going here in the first period. 24 seconds left on the clock. But it's rimmed all the way around. Purdy will watch this one go. Will it have enough for the icing? And they say it will. So back down to the Blizzard zone we go. 14 seconds on the clock, and the Wild will need something quickly here to end the first. Foster, Wallace, Conrad, Reed. I've only called one other game of this team, but I could already tell that this is what you would call the big line, and there it is. Of course, that's why they call it the big line. The shot from the skipper, Chloe Conrad, finds it back of the net. And just like that, the hosts have tied things up here in Kentville. Conrad, D to D. And that'll do it to end the first period. So after one, it's tied at one here on High Button. We'll be right back for the second. Well, after the Wild tied things up with 10 seconds to go off a shot from their captain, Chloe Conrad, we're underway here in the second. The Valley right back into the offensive zone. Mabella Scott right up through center. The Blizzard now away 3-on-2. Back up to the point for Scott. That shot's blocked off the shin pads of Curry, and now Wildcats away, or the Wild rather, chasing this one down. Sorbetti. Back to the point for Stark. Her shot makes its way to the net on the redirect from Smith. Now a one-on-one. Stark, the last one back. Now helped out by Olivia Smith as Stark fends off the pressure on the near side. Now a chance for Olivia Smith. She'll get the red line and send this one deep. Now Corkum into the slot for Lowe. That shot goes just wide on the short side. Back up top of the zone for Ford. She'll send a shot off the glove of Roberts and back into the corner. Back around the end wall for Corkum. She lets it go back for the captain and the goal scorer, Chloe Conrad. Back to the point. Scott lets a shot go off the blocker. That one's into the slot. Corkum sends one up through the middle. And Barron just couldn't get that one out of the way of the shin pads in front. Hattie Barron back on this one, plays it up the wall for Claire Wallace, and that one's into the offensive zone once again. Fresh pairs of legs will come back out here for the Wild, but Mabella Scott able to work this one into the offensive zone. She'll send a shot wide. Back around the end wall, Purdy. Morrison now with a shot from the point. That one blocked in front, but they'll send another shot through. That one's off a shin pad. Mikal Foster back behind the net. She's pressured down there by Finney. Purdy able to work it free up the near side wall for Wallace, and she's going to burn down this near side. Claire Wallace trying to split the D. She does, but Minton gets the glove down. 11:05 left to go here in the second period. This puck gets back out to center. It's going to be sent back up the near side wall for McLean. Poked into the slot. Sorbetti couldn't get a stick on it. McLean battling there, but it's poked free by Kate Ford. Ford will get that into the offensive zone. Now on the far side, Raya Smith trying to send one towards the net, but Ford stick right there, able to turn it back up quickly for the Blizzard. They'll send one into the offensive zone, and that's intercepted by Olivia Smith. Now Scott, far side. This one's dumped in. And they'll get right back on the chase. But a quick turnaround for the Wild. Varon will work into the offensive zone. She's going to drive wide. Back around the net for Corkum. That one was just played in front off a stick. And wide. Now Grace Conrad spins off the pressure, tries to work up through center. And now Corkum shot right into the glove. And Minton will hold on for the face-off. Face-off won by the Valley. Foster tried to work it towards the goal on the backhand. Now Sinclair gets it to the point. Conrad has to back off. She goes D to D. And that one's sent back towards Minton. She'll cover up for their face-off. 8:41 left to go here in the second. Conrad back from the point, goes D to D to Chloe Conrad. This one's picked up by Ford, sent up the near side, looking for McCauley, but almost intercepted there by Sorbetti. Back to the point for Conrad. She has to escape all the way back to her own zone and reset. Sent back into the O zone. Sorbetti giving chase. And now McCauley for the Blizzard. Dumps it down that near side. Back for Curry. She tried to play one up the wall. That one's off a stick. Second chance gets out to center, and it's played right back up the far side into the wild zone. Now Scott towards the goal, but that one's blocked off his shin pad. Sorbetti gets this out to center. And Finney will go D to D back across for Scott. And she'll look to get on her horse. She's got a lane to the net, and that one just goes wide. Now Corkum in the center off the skate of Sorbetti. Couldn't control that one. Now taken away. A quick shot turned aside by Roberts. And now Sorbetti up through center. No one can find the stick of Ryan Smith. Back down behind the goal rather. O'Keefe played it up the wall. Mullins drops for Mills. She looks to get this one towards the net, but Corkum blocked it. Into the corner it goes. Now Hattie Varon. Across the blue line, she'll send one towards the net. That's off a shin pad, and right back the other way goes Kate Brenton. Muse now picks it up for Valley. Tried to stretch that one offside is Claire Wallace, but she doesn't hear it. So back down to the wild zone they go. I thought this should have been called a couple times yesterday in a few games, but the referee's reluctant to call the forced offside. Olivia Smith up through center, up for Wallace. She tries the far side for Reed. Drives on the backhand towards the goal. Stark at the point had that poked off her stick. And now it's sent down the ice. Smith going back for it. No ice is the call, so Smith will backhand one around the wall for Reed. Stark there as well. No, back up at the top of the zone. Foster gives that one away right on the stick of Finney. Now Scott sends a quick shot through off the pad of Roberts. A chance in the slot for Conrad. She couldn't let it go. Now 2-on-1 maybe for Kate Breton, but 3 blue jerseys able to get back. It's picked up by the Valley. Worked up the wall for Foster. Now Ryan Smith. Her shot goes wide. A chance now for Curry to get that on the far side, but she turned it over. Conrad blocked. Now they'll try the near side. Grace Conrad couldn't hold the line. Chance now for Mills in the offensive zone. She's going to drive wide. Back up top for Ford. She'll play it down and lay on the wall for Mullins. And now broken free. It's Raya Smith looking to go back door for Curry, but she was watched there very closely by Morrison on the back check. Just over 3 minutes left here in the second. Now into the slot. Chance goes through the 5-hole. Roberts able to keep it out. Sorbetti turned it over at the top of the zone. Scott passes that one over to the far side to Fogarty, but her shot was blocked off a shin pad. Battle on that near side in the corner. One free by Grace Conrad. Her stick held up. Parents calling for a hook, but stick on stick. Not going to draw anything. Now on the near side. Grace Conrad unable to hold the line. Low giving chase. So this one's worked to center by Harridge. Now Hattie Varon with a chance to get her to the zone, but she can't do so. Couldn't get a puck, or a stick on the puck, rather. Paige Lowe now out to center. That's turned aside. And now dumped in by Muse. Behind the net, Corkum was first to it, but puck poked off her stick, rather. And now a chance for Harridge. Driving wide. She'll poke it off the pad of Roberts. But the big number 29 able to turn that one aside and hold on for the face-off. 65 seconds left in the second. Check the forecast today. It said it was going to be minus temperatures all day. And boy, do I ever hope she warms up. It's a chilly one inside the Kentville Arena, and it's a little bit colder than I remembered when it was my playing years here in Kentville. This one's sent around the wall. Line held by Ford, but now a chance for the Valley. Numbers away. It's Foster. Her shot wide. Now back the other way. Go the Blizzard on the far side. Puck battle. One free back by the Blizzard. Ford at the top of the line. Her shot goes off the pad of Fable Roberts. And now another penalty coming here to Cape Breton. Both arms go up with the referee. And maybe another chance for Valley to get a late period goal. 29 seconds left on the clock. 28 rather. And down to the Blizzard zone we go. It'll be Mullins, their goal scorer, in the box. Foster, Smith, Wallace, Reed, and Stark at the point. Puck battle down low. Tied up, but poked free by Wallace. Over to Foster. Looking for Reed in front of the back door. Wallace is there, but that one's sent wide. Sinclair gonna pinch her off. 8 seconds left. And now Wallace trying to jam it. That one's turned aside. 2 seconds, and that'll do it. So after 2, we're tied at 1. We'll be back here on High Button Sports for the third period of play. Stay tuned. third period in what has been a tight game so far. Only goals from Annie Mullins and Chloe Conrad on the board so far. We're tied at 1, and the Wild start on the man advantage, or the power play, I should say. But as to note, the only Cape Breton goal comes shorthanded. Now a chance in the offensive zone for the Blizzard. Grace Conrad starts up from her defensive zone. Picked up now by Claire Wallace. She'll start from her own zone. And that one's almost taken away. Some wet ice we've seen after the floods here all weekend, and maybe gonna be a factor here in the start of this second period. Wallace has that puck roll off her stick. She'll send it towards the goal, but that's off the shin pads of Reed. And right back into the corner. Wallace is on it. Reed's going to help her out. Only 5 seconds left to go until Mullins is out of the box. Wallace on the backhand, back door. And Mittens got it in the glove. Foster unable to find the back of the net. Now, quick shot off the face-off goes up into the netting, so another whistle will come. Line held by Stark. She sent one towards the net, but that one was high and wide. Back up top for Corkum. Now Smith. That one rolls past her stick, and away goes Campbell. Campbell shot off the pad. Mullins around the net. Now Campbell looks to pick it right back up. Now Barron able to get this one outside the defensive zone and move it up to low. And now Corkum took a bump behind the net. This one's worked up the near side. Sorbetti is going to be back to it first. And now a penalty coming to Valley. Stark touches up on the far side. It'll be a tripping call, I believe. Yes, it will. So Lowe will head off to the box. Scott looking for that far corner. She almost picked it, but it just goes wide. Forward. Down low to Frazier. Frazier gets a return feed, sends a shot off his shin pad, and they score! That one shelved right off the stick of Fable Robertson. Up into the top part of the net. And it gives the Cape Breton Blizzard a 2-1 lead. Here with a power play goal in the third period. 17 minutes left on the clock. And the Valley gonna need a response. So Roberts had to paddle down, but I believe it went right up and into the top part of the netting, right off her paddle in the shaft. Chloe Conrad up through center, looking for Mikhail Foster. Oh, chance in front. That one's going to be slapped wide. Finney with some speed for Cape Breton. She'll drive wide, backhanded towards the goal. That one's poked back into the corner. Grace Conrad. Now back up top, Scott, D to D for Morris, and that one goes off her skate and back into the corner. And Morrison back down in low, Fogarty. And now Reed to the far side. That one's played back into center, and now another loose puck played into no man's land and is picked up by the Blizzard. Morrison back to Scott. Foster played one across the line, looking for low. That one taken away by the Blizzard. Campbell on the far side, going to drive in, but Corkum in there to strip that puck free. Corkum in the center. Mills almost got a stick on that and took it away. Stark gets it across the red line, and Varon has to stop up before going offside. She'll try once more. Now Low has her stick tied up, tried to send it towards the goal for Corkum, but taken away and held at the line though by Low. Now Campbell into the slot. Smith put the stick up. Thought she was going to get the call, but no call was coming. And now Corkum, 2-on-1 for Valley. Corkum looks to pass it off, but she had the lane to the net. Now Corkum throws it wide. No icing is the call. Ford down the far side. And that one is going to be an icing. Charge to the Blizzard, so back down to the glove side of Mitten will go. Matilda Sorbetti on the draw here against Kate Finney, but we'll get another whistle. Looks like Finney's going to be kicked out of the draw. Nobody knows what's going on at the face-off dot, but that's all right. Finney lost the draw. And this one's played all the way back down to the wild end. Purdy, a couple of escape turns down low, played it back around for Muse. A little too far out of her reach, but she'll grab it up the half wall with speed. Sophie Muse. Stomped up at the Aqua Valley sign, and this one's played back out to center. Over to the far side, or the near side rather, for Sorbetti. And she'll turn that right over. Guthrie Walker walking in, but Chloe Conrad able to turn that one aside. The captain will turn back for some space. Now Raya Smith had that one played right under her skate, and that'll go the length of the ice for the icing call. Back down to the Valley zone we go. 12:49 left to go here in the third. Power play goal as the Blizzard up one. No, Morrison. Played it down low. Grace Conrad will get that one around the wall. Mikael Foster trying to get a puck out at center. She's going to be first to it in the corner. In front, that one poked wide. Wallace on the chase on the far side. She's first to it. Claire Wallace with speed looks to fend off the pressure. She's taken down on the way in through the neutral zone. Chipped up the near side wall. Conrad lets another shot go from the point. That one's bobbled by Mitten, but she'll cover the rebound. 11:59 here left in the third and final frame of Game 6 here at Provincials. Grace Conrad played it down low into the slot. That one gets back to the line. Couldn't be held. No, up the wall. Corkum, rather. Skating after that one, but it's Ford first to it. Offside are the Wild, so they'll have to touch up quickly and back on the attack. Corkum trying to give Ford some pressure, but it didn't really turn out for much. Ford able to get this one back into the offensive zone. No quick breakout for the Wild. Turned back by Finney. She was pinned to the wall. And now Fable Roberts will hold on. 10:58 left here in the third period. Finney and Sorbetti on the draw once again. Puck comes through to Harridge. Now Frazier. A couple of whacks at it, and it gets out of the zone. O'Keefe goes back for Sinclair. Now Raya Smith picks that one up in her own zone, deep. Couldn't get past that red line. Now back across for Finney. This one's broken into the offensive zone. Curry to Foster. That one is turned aside, but the rebound goes in. Raya Smith leads the flyby. And it looks like she'll be credited with that one. Right on the back door. We're tied up at 2. Now Scott throws one towards the goal. That one just goes wide. Now back into the offensive zone, go to the Wild. It's Foster. She's going to take a dump there. That'll draw a penalty. The power play coming to the Wild. Back up top, Conrad. Now Hattie Varon sends a shot through. That one goes in. And they're going to call it off. No, they will say it's a good goal. So a little bit of confusion there. But it turns out the Wild up by 1 on a power play goal. Didn't quite see who got the last touch. It went up and over Zoe Minton. One that she might like to have back. So back to center we go. The hosts back on top. Now Ford up the far side. So that's Varon from low at 10:34 on the power play. And I wonder if there's any relation from Hattie Varon to the Varon brothers on the U13 AAA Valley Jets squad, who will be hosting provincials as well in a week's time in Berwick. Now Scott, her shot well wide. Curry on the far side, couldn't get a stick on it, played back for Muse. Now Morrison for Scott, she sends one up top, but getting the blocker up was Fable Roberts. No, the whistle will go. A puck battle on that near side. Going to be blown dead. Now Wallace up that far side for Reed. 2-on-2. That one's turned aside by Minton. Into the corner for McInnes. Now Foster into the slot. Back to the point for Smith. That one goes off a shin pad. And now sent down behind the net. Olivia Smith. Back for it. Far side for Claire Wallace. She dumps it into the offensive zone. Covered up by Minton. 7:16 left on the clock. So Valley gets the 2 points here. They'll move into first place for now with 4 points. Chloe Conrad back from the point. She winds, fires, and that one's into the glove of Mitten. The rebound sits there loose, though. And now a 3-on-1 for Cape Breton. Harridge saved by Roberts. Now Corkum trying to play it up the far side. There's Hattie Varon, the goal scorer. Gonna turn right back aside. Frazier. Her shot goes off a shin pad of Chloe Conrad. And now back to the point. St. Clair couldn't hold the line. This one's gonna skate all the way back. Ford. Now up the wall, Foster couldn't hold the line. This one's gonna go all the way down for the ice. 5:53 left to go here in the third. Now Scott picks it back up at the point. Tried to go through a bunch of traffic. That's never the right play. Oh, Smith up on the far side. Couldn't let it go. And now this one gets out of the zone. Back for it once again, Mavella Scott. Now Mills on the far side plays it ahead for Mullins, and she gets it into the offensive zone. Stark plays it far side. This is turned aside. Back in it's Stark. Turns aside Fogarty, and she'll get called. So I'm not sure if that should really be called an interference penalty or not, but it will be. Valley off to the PK here with 5:07 left to go. Now Scott sends a shot through. Roberts has it. And she'll hold on. This power play is going to absolutely run through Mavella Scott. Sent down the ice by Ryan Smith out to center. Ford picks it up across for Scott. And she tried to go up through center, taken away by Corkum, and sent down the ice. Now a chance in all alone. It's Mills, and she scores. We're all tied up. It's a power play goal. And some unhappy Valley fans. Muse picks it back up in her own zone, trying to get this one outside the blue line. Now Sinclair. Her shot goes high and wide over the goal. Wallace gonna ice this one. Then we'll go all the way back down to the Valley Zone. 4:05 left on the clock. Corkum now into the offensive zone. She's going to send one on net. Mitten's there, and she'll hold on. Stark off the wall. Down low for Foster. Trying to play it out front. This one goes all the way down the ice. Stark up the wall, giving away, and now McInnes played it in front. Played to the half wall. Wallace tried to chip it, but maybe a little too far. 3:20 left on the clock. This one's sent into the offensive zone. That's going to be an icing call. Charge to the Blizzard. Back down to the glove side of Mitten we go. Sinclair picks it up. Goes in front. And Mitten looks to have it. That one's going to be blown dead. Now Scott plays that one down the ice. That one is going to be called an icing, but Corkum speeds back to grab it. Now Conrad looking for an option. Plays it back across to her sister Grace. Up through center for Corkum. That one tipped on its way in. No icing. Thrown in front. Looking for Corkum. No, she's got it in the far corner. Scott tried to play it out of the zone. Intercepted by Corkum momentarily, but Fogarty gets a stick on it and works it out to center. Fogarty, short side shot turned aside by Roberts, and she'll hold on. 1:52 left here in the third period. This one's turned aside and dumped back into the corner by the Blizzard. The Wild will have to turn or try once again here on the breakout. Sinclair up the wall, poked ahead by Campbell. Now Sinclair on the far side. Backhands one into the zone. Now Purdy up the wall. Back up for Campbell. into the offensive zone to the slot. That shot turned aside, and now back come the Wild. It's Reed. Ryan Smith with it. She tries to work up in the offensive zone. Smith towards the goal. That one's blocked in front. Corkum back on it. But that one goes right through her feet. Mabella Scott looking for her fourth of the tournament. Can she have another? That one goes wide. Corkum looks to send this one ahead for Reed. Reed to no man's land once again. It's onto a Blizzard stick. Now a little hot potato out of neutral ice. 12 seconds left to go. Olivia Smith, far side. That one taken away by Finney. A little bobbling here with the puck. Nobody really wanting to take control. That will lead us to overtime. So we'll be right back here on High Button. We'll get a little bit of extra hockey. Stay tuned. Overtime here in the 6th game to start the morning of day 2 at the Nova Scotia U15 Female Provincials, and we're underway in the extra period. Chloe Conrad open the scoring here for Valley. She'll play it back across for her sister Grace. They'll go D to D. One more time, back across. That one taken away. Almost the exact same play that opened the scoring for Cape Breton. But this one's turned aside by Roberts. Right under the stick of the tying goal scorer, Mills. Face-off is going to be dug free by Conrad. Poked ahead to Grace Conrad. She's got Wallace with her into the slot. Claire Wallace fires off the pad. Now Conrad back at the top of the zone, and penalty coming to Valley. It's going to be a hook to Wallace and a power play to Cape Breton. And the Blizzard have called a timeout, I believe, so we'll be right back here on High Button after a short little break. 4:14 on the clock in overtime. A power play now for Cape Breton. Claire Wallace, 6 in the box for a hook. And Mabella Scott sets back up once again. The power play is going to run through her. She'll look to send all the shots towards the goal. Frazier on the far side being watched closely. Shot blocked by Lowe. Frazier back on the far side. Black up top for Ford. Her shot off a shin pad. The rebound goes wide, and this one's played out of the zone by Olivia Smith. Corkum pressuring on the far side. This one's broken in. Mills. Now McCauley. Drops to Frazier. McCauley back up top for Frazier. Now Sinclair. Sends a shot through. That one's wide. Now back up top for Sinclair. Down low for Frazier, but Stark able to pinch her off. Now Frazier goes back to the point. Nobody home. That'll scoop outside the zone all the way back down behind their own net. Scott looking to gain some speed. She goes far side though, and now Campbell tried to play one to the point. Foster has a chance to break one down, but Ford is first to it. Kate Ford towards the goal to end it, but Roberts is there. Short side shot turned aside by Roberts. She got the pad down. 2:15 left to go here in overtime. Corkum, Lowe, Purdy on the ice as well as Muse. Back up top. Back to even strength. Mullins on the far side keeps it in. Dug free. McCauley tried to send it in front. Stark plays it back to the half wall. Mullins up top for Ford. Back down to Mullins. Now Wallace gets a stick on it. Plays it back behind the net, but first to it was Muse. Luckily for Valley, she's able to clear that one. Corkum plays it out of the zone. And now right down onto Mitten. She'll hold on for the face-off. 1:29 left to go here in this overtime period. We're going to get a penalty, or a timeout rather, called by Valley. So we'll be right back here on High Button. A quick timeout. 1:29 left in overtime. .129 on the clock. Threes on either side. The fourth goal will be the winner. Or will we get a fourth goal if nobody scores in this overtime period? We will end in a tie. Both teams will grab a point from this game. But Mabella Scott looks to change the narrative. She sends it down the far side. That one unable to find a stick, so that'll be an icing call. Charge to Cape Breton. Mills back on it. Wallace on the face-off. Picked back up by Scott. 1:16 to go. That one sent up through center. Breakaway now for Mills. But Conrod's back. She's going to break that one up. Now Mika Foster. Up through center. To the backhand. Off the toe. Rebound sent wide. Wallace tried to jam it on the back door. Wallace a second shot. That one off his shin pad. Dug free and worked up the far side. Into the zone goes McCauley. Mills, rather. Now on the near side, Ford gets it back. Her shot goes off the stick of Fable Roberts. 24 seconds left to go. Conrad pressured down low. Now Conrad stripped once again in the defensive zone. Guthrie Walker walks in. That one's blocked. 6 seconds to go. And it looks like we're going to end in a tie here, folks. And that it does. So that'll do it here for this one. It's a tie game, and everyone will end with a point. Valley will be tied with Metro East as well as Cape Breton. So both teams will grab a point in a anticlimactic end to this one. But nonetheless, a great game here for both squads. 3-3 the final score between Cape Breton and Valley here at the U15 AAA Provincials. That'll be it for me, and then I'll send it down to the PA announcer for the player of the games.
Players of the game. For the Valley Wilds, number 17, Raya Smith. And for the Cape Breton Blizzard, number 9, Ella Miller.